Hello everyone who has made it online for our quick 30-minute webinar on the Illusive Executive Financial Dashboard. I think there's a couple more who notified us that they're coming in, so we'll just give you about 30 seconds or 45 seconds and we will start the broadcast. So for those of you that are online checking emails, you've got another 45 seconds. All right, great. Well, we only have 30 minutes, so we will get started. A bunch more did jump in there while we were waiting. So again, thank you to each one who has joined us for our webinar, which may be a series of webinars we will bring forward over the next little while. Just 30-minute webinars. I know we're all very busy, and so hopefully this is of value to you. So the topic for today, the Illusive Executive Financial Dashboard. I have been in the business intelligence space since the early 90s, and I've been doing BI and analytics for a lot of organizations, really internationally since then. And the dashboard idea has been around since at least then. It's been around for a long time, and over the years, many different companies and organizations have brought out new capabilities in dashboards, and they have continued to grow in capability. But you know what, and I'd love to talk to some of you guys individually, but they still tend to be elusive. There are organizations who have been able to bring dashboards forward, and many of you on the line may have an element of dashboards available to your senior executives. But over the years, there's been different challenges associated with doing them. They look great, they can add tremendous power and help with business performance, but they really have to be done right. And so that's really where our name has come from for this webinar, the Illusive Executive Financial Dashboard. So we're going to talk about financial dashboards, but a few others as well. And so just to move things along, so the agenda for today, just a couple of introductions. We've got a quick survey for each of you that are on the line, and we're going to talk about some best demonstrated practices in dashboards quickly, and then I'm going to turn it over for demonstrations, and then lastly Q&A and wrap up in our quick 30 minutes. So on the line today, myself, Ian Margerison, responsible for business development here at Clear Insight, Kit Chan, our services leader, who will be doing the demo portion for us, and Susan Malik, our president online as well, who helps us, does a great job. She will be doing the poll and the Q&A as that comes along. So while I think of that as well, please, as always, enter your questions, any questions you might have, thoughts, points of view, into the question bar on the right, and we will seek to address them at the end. Some we may be able to reply to online as the webinar is going on, but please don't hesitate to throw in questions. We are happy to keep your name anonymous, but throw out the questions you bring forward. So by all means, do that as we proceed forward. So many of you are well aware of who we are, Clear Insight FPM. We are a consultants to organizations across many verticals across North America, really. We work support Canada and the U.S., and we have a few folks that we support outside the U.S. as well. Our focus is, on one side, is to the Office of Finance and helping to drive efficiency to the Office of Finance, issues around time, control, and confidence in all that's going on in budgeting, planning, forecasting, financial reporting. But that moves beyond that into the complete space of business intelligence and business analytics, which is more of our topic today. And it's very exciting as we work with companies and we see the transformation that can take place with, not too much effort, less generally than people expect, to bring in some of these solutions for companies. And so we're excited about that. We are IBM Business Partners, so we focus a lot of our attention around the Cognos suite of solutions, but we also have the capability to deliver other solutions. We're, of course, Microsoft certified and support a lot of products in that area as well. Our customer base, we enjoy working with them because they tell us we help them work smarter, not harder, and that's what it's all about. No matter what area of business you're in, time is of the essence, and how can we help drive efficiency and confidence in the work that you're doing? And that's what our customers tell us, and we would be happy to do the same for you. So that's a little bit about us. So let's move on to our audience poll, and I have one poll given the shortness of the webinar. I'm interested to find out, each of you, some of you on the line are from maybe the IT support side, some of you are from other areas of business, and Susan has just opened up the poll there. Tell us, and you select all that apply, who is it that really needs business performance dashboards in your company? Whether it's your department or you support departments, interested to know where the driving force is coming from in your companies, and I'm sure you would be interested as well to see who, what others are saying on that as well. So please jump in. You've got a few seconds there. We'll give you about 30 seconds to make some selections, and please pick all that apply of who it is in your organizations, what areas, what departments really have the greatest need for what we'll just classify, quote unquote, as dashboards right now. Okay, there's just, I think there's a couple more that might need to reply in there. We'll give you another second. All right, Susan, if you could close up that poll, that would be great. So each of you should see on the screen there now the poll results. Interesting. I do find these results quite interesting. The majority are coming from operations that are needing dashboards, and interesting enough, we have been connected with a number of companies even over the last couple of weeks who have stated the needs are in the operations area. Finance obviously is right up there. I'm surprised marketing is so low, actually, at 25%. Sales and other at 13%. And generally, that doesn't surprise me. We find that sales often has their own ways of getting their information, their pipelines, and their reports, as opposed to more of a corporate-wide sales dashboard. Marketing, on the other hand, there's a tremendous miss being in the business arena right now. Marketing having at their fingertips knowledge of the key elements in their business can really help drive performance. When we think about the marketing dashboards, it's more on the growth side as opposed to finance and operations that may be more on the margin or expense side. So thank you for that, and we will take that into account over the next number of minutes as we go through the rest of the presentation. So you should see my next screen showing up there, Dashboard Best Demonstrated Practices. And I would expect that none of this is rocket science for each of you on the call, but as you embark on these solutions, it's all too easy to get caught into the weeds of many requests, and often if you get diverted in your design, you can lose the power of what a dashboard really does for your business. So just quickly, let's look at a couple of these points. First of all, a dashboard is designed to begin with and start with a high-level summary. We have seen, maybe you have seen, I have seen over my career, an organization come into an organization and said, look at our dashboard. And what they showed me was an Excel spreadsheet that had like 80 KPIs in it. And it was just brutal, really, to go through it. The power of a dashboard is that the given individual is able to open it up and immediately see the key KPIs that are needed in their business. Now, the next bullet there says 20 or less, and generally 20 is probably too high as well. from your initial dashboard that you're going to view. The power of it is that someone, whether you're on your mobile devices, a tablet or a phone, whether you're in your office, is the individual is able to quickly get an immediate picture of the key elements that are in their business. If that isn't the first thing that an individual gets out of a dashboard, then you've kind of started off on the wrong foot. However, if that's all you give, and maybe this is your experience, the transition of dashboards over the years might have started with that, and that ended right there. And so all the dashboard did then was create more work for IT or more work for the other areas, because it was just that top level KPI, and the next thing you know, the phone was ringing off the hook saying, well, why is this happening? And the individuals are looking to drill down further. So the convenience and power of a dashboard and really offloading IT from having to search and deliver numbers comes not just from the high-level summaries, but your dashboard has to have the ability to provide a certain level of self-service for those individuals. So you need to have, depending on who your users are, you need to use certain technologies and certain solutions that will allow those individuals to go from those high-level summaries to dive down into a level of information that allows them on their own, whether it's drill down, whether it's links to secondary dashboards. The specific way it happens isn't so much important, but that I have a way as an end user of beginning to start to answer some questions that would come up when I look at my high-level dashboard. So definitely a best demonstrated practice as you move forward is knowing the business, knowing the users, and knowing what key bits of insight and information have to be delivered after those high-level summaries to help meet the business need. That gets us to flexible and customizable. Customizable can be a potentially a bad word for some users. What you will see as Kit opens it up and demos things is that customizable can create more complexity, and you then, for some users, you're missing the boat if you make it too customizable. However, other users do need customized, so it's knowing your audience as well. What better question than what keeps you up at night? You need to do that, and that's going to vary by department, and that's really the last bullet. So moving along quickly, if you think about our experience with proven effective dashboards, and you think about it by department, you've got, of course, the executive dashboards. Whether I'm a C-level executive or SVP, there's certain things that I'm going to need to know, and they're generally going to hit on things like margin, opportunity, and risk. Sales dashboards on pipeline growth and competition. Marketing dashboards that we touched on earlier. How's my advertising performance? Where am I getting the best bang for my buck? How can I meet and target into my key potential prospects and clients? And what are their needs? Can I understand what's going on in the competition? Marketing dashboards can be tremendous for that. Supply chain dashboards gets us to the operations that you all mentioned. Capacity, what's my ability to meet capacity? Inventory, what are risks in meeting my needs depending on the kind of industry you're in. Call center dashboards, we all know we've called into our telcos with complaints, and the next thing you know they're sending us an offer for something. That's because they've got key dashboards available to those people in the call centers that can address our needs and seek to maximize client satisfaction. And then social media dashboards, if you haven't seen them, there is some tremendous capabilities coming out from IBM around social media, and they are more cost effective than you would think, and we would be excited to share some around social media. If you are business to consumer, that can be a fantastic way to understand your client perceptions, what's happening out there in the industry, and be able to capture opportunity and risk while it is live and timely. Okay, got to move along here. One last slide, CFO Dashboard, an example. You will see a bit of this, but just to touch on one example, if I'm the CFO, can I immediately find out what's going on with the health of my operation, my accounts payable, my accounts receivable, my key metrics, how am I performing now? But it would depend whether it's monthly, weekly, etc. Those are other time considerations in the timeliness of your data that will affect the revenue metrics. How's my liquidity? What's going on with my business? What's my other operational metrics? the ability to be able to log in the morning as a CFO or senior finance executive and have these key elements at your fingertips. And a key point is that it's trustworthy information. The power to your business is fantastic. So what we will be showing you today, while we have other capabilities, we will be showing you some of the capabilities from the Cognos set of solutions. And so I will turn that over to Kit now as he sets up for the demo. And so Kit, I will turn it over to you now for the demo.
Great, thanks Ian. So as Ian has indicated, today we're going to be focusing on just the dashboards available within the Cognos suite of products. Now within Cognos, they natively support 4 types of dashboards. An Excel type dashboard, a active report, a more integrated business intelligence dashboard, and also a newer product called Cognos Insight, which is a personal analytic type dashboard. Now, I won't get into the Excel dashboard because I'm sure you all know how to create Excel spreadsheets and graphs. So what I'm going to start with is the simple active reports. Now, the advantage of this type of dashboard is that it is really a self-contained web-based file that can be used to integrate into your current corporate intranet, or also quite easily integrated into SharePoint, or even just you can use it within the Cognos workspace. So I have here and I'm logged into my Cognos workspace, and a list of some dashboards. So I'm just going to bring up one, the financial profitability analysis. You can see here, it is a very simple dashboard. Now this type of dashboard is static, but also has limited dynamic content capabilities. So you can see here, each one of these graphical widgets are not clickable. I cannot drill down on it, but I have certain tools up top here that I can use to make it more dynamic and show different content. Now, for the demonstration here, and we're just going to look at a company over a 12-month period. So you can see here, I have a little slider bar at top, and as I slide the bar, the widgets on my dashboard changes according to what my values are. Okay. Now I can also have links in my dashboard here. So here I'm looking at a general ledger view. I can also link into an accounts payable type dashboard, and even accounts receivable. Once again, these widgets itself are not dynamic. I do have some dynamic capabilities with my slider here. Right. But as you can see here, it shows some very typical metrics that a person in an executive role might want to see. Gross margin by responsibility center. Some ratios, financial ratio, which is always important. If you're in an area where you have product, you have inventory turnover status, and of course, your variance analysis. Very important. Now, another advantage of this type of dashboard, as I said earlier, is the fact that you can create an external file. So I'm just going to show you how easily we can do that. So you can see here, if I were to, let's say, look at this sales executive dashboard. And here's another example of a different type of dashboard that Ian has mentioned. Again, have a little bit more flexibility here. I can have a drop down that I can show different components. You can see here there is some different dynamic capabilities that I can introduce in these dashboards. So you can see these graphs are dynamic, as long as a cross-tab chart. Again, different links to different types of dashboards. Very nice. Now, what I can do is I can actually export this out. So yeah, I can download it. I download it to my desktop. Minimize the screen here. As you can see here, I now have a self-contained MHT file. All right, and if I bring that up, Oops, sorry. Let me close that off. I hate it when IE does that. All right, let me minimize. IE seems to have crashed. Never good. Let me, okay. Well, IE doesn't seem to like me today, unfortunately. Let me end that. Okay, so in interest of time, I can try to open up this one in Firefox. Now, as you know, the MHT is only supported by Internet Explorer. In order to use that in Firefox, you will have to use a Firefox add-in. Let me show you that here. Open file. Right. So okay. So this is the MHT file opened up in a browser. So you can actually take this file, email it, integrate it into SharePoint, or integrate it into your other corporate intranet as needed. All right. Now, so next thing I'm going to show you is a little bit more an integrated type dashboard. Now, as you see with the previous dashboard, you were limited in what you can see, what you can do. So if you use the Cognos workspace, what you can actually do is create dashboards for users that are even more interactive. And Ian asked a very good question, earlier about what the users need to do. So really, you would use certain type of dashboards to satisfy different users' needs. For an executive who's not very hands-on, maybe the active report dashboard is sufficient. But for an executive who's very hands-on, something like this may be more beneficial to them. As you can see here, so there's a different version of a financial performance and health dashboards. Each one of these dashboards covers certain aspects of the business. For example, here's your financial ratios, operating expense in this example, profitability, gross margin by sales. Very similar components that you see in the other dashboards. Now we also have additional links here to other dashboards, similar as before. So let's add a link to accounts receivable. Again, so it's very similar to the accounts receivable dashboards that we've seen before. Bring it back here. Right. So again, so here's the active report one, and here is the integrated one. As you can see, I have similar charts. Accounts receivable. Right. Depending on my scale. Where this is not clickable, these ones are. So let's say I want to focus on what I did in a certain country. So let's look at United States. So I can actually click on here, and I can have some information, links to different reports. Or let me bring back another version of the financial dashboard here. So let's say I want to look at let's look at sales type dashboard. Gives me a better example. So here's a sales dashboard. As you can see, and here's a call center type dashboard. As you can see here, I can link it to, it shows main different links to main different other components. Right. So let's look at what do we have here? Accounts payable. Right. So let's say I want to focus on a certain region. I can actually go in here, double click on my region, and I drill into that region. So this gives you the added flexibility of drill in, drill out. So you see here now, because I've clicked on United States, my widgets on my dashboard is now focused on areas within the United States. Notice that these two dashboards change, as well as the cross-tab chart on the bottom. And I can, of course, always drill back up. And my dashboards will change based on what I've seen. And also, I can always filter by quarters or even select different countries just from my external widgets here. Right? And with links, so here's an example. I can actually even link to additional functionality. So I can link to an import statement, or I can link to a different report. Let's say I can also link to a report which is financials by business unit. Right. So this type of dashboard you really give to someone who's very hands-on. Perhaps a very hands-on executive, department manager, regional manager type person, gives them a better indication of how their business or how the division is doing. Only a couple of minutes left. I just want to really quickly show you the last item, which is functional analytics, and this really gives you the ultimate flexibility in dashboarding. Product is called Cognos Insight, and I'm going to really quickly show you how easily this can be done. So here's a product. I just want to change the style a bit. I want to give it a black background, so you can see here. And I have already prepared for you a typical CSV file. As you can see here, it's just typical file with my headers and data on the rows. So what I can do is I can just drag and drop this into my application. And as you can see here, automatically creates a nice little combo dashboard. Now what I can do is I can modify this to suit what I need. So let's say that for this, I only want to see the actual versus target, so I want to hide the count. And I want to show typical column graph. So let's say I further want to show a little bit more. Let's say I want a separate graph showing the count. From here, make this here. I just want to see the count. And I want to be able to do a little bit of play, so I want to take the sales division outside. And I want to create, let's do a little bit of a new type of chart. Let's do a tree map. It's kind of interesting here. As you can see here, I now have quite the nice little personal dashboards. As well as a little bit of a navigator. And if I lock this, I can see here, I can show different divisions. My dashboard changed with that, whereas this is acting as an independent view of what I want to see. So anyway, that's I think we're running out of time here. So yeah, I'm going to give it back to you.
All right, thanks, Kit. That's fantastic. And we're coming up to the end of the hour. So really, that was just to kind of show you guys a bit of the art of the possible and what is possible. Some of you may already be Cognos clients. Some of you may be Clarity clients. And so I just wanted to mention too that there's an element of dashboarding that can be done in Clarity if you're on the Clarity solution. But really, as you transition to an upgrade of TM1 or Cognos Express, it opens a new world of opportunity. And so depending on where some of you are at on your Clarity journey, that would be something that would be worth us talking to you about and being able to take advantage of that. We are almost out of time, but Q&A, I'm not sure if there's any questions that have come up. Susan, is there any questions that came through that anybody would like to ask?
Nope, there's no questions at this time.
All right, no questions, no problem. So thank you very much, everybody, for your time today. Hopefully you got a little insight into what was possible, and we would welcome the opportunity to touch base with any of you. One thing I wanted to mention is we can give you a link to a free download of Cognos Insight, and just by all means email us back and we can give you that link and you can start to play with some of these solutions at no charge in your own environment. And of course, if you're undertaking these initiatives, we would be happy to talk to you about next steps and share with you some additional best demonstrated practices as we work with many clients in North America. So thank you very much, and have yourself a great, wonderful day as you move forward. Again, thanks so much.